Hi, this is Alex from devstories.eu. GitHub Actions, Episode 4 of 14. You try to use a runner environment variable to dictate whether a job should start, and your pipeline fails before it even spins up a machine. You are certain the variable exists, but GitHub acts like it is empty. The problem is not your variable, it is your timing. To fix this, we need to talk about state evaluation with variables and contexts. In GitHub Actions, your workflow state is evaluated in two completely separate phases happening in two completely different places. This is the core difference between a context and an environment variable. Let us look at contexts first. Contexts are collections of information evaluated directly by GitHub before your workflow is sent to a runner. They hold data about the workflow run, the repository, the webhook event that triggered the run, and the user who initiated it. Because GitHub evaluates contexts immediately, you can use them to control the structure of your pipeline. You access a context using a specific expression syntax, usually a $ followed by double curly braces containing the context name. On the other hand, default environment variables are evaluated later on the actual runner machine that executes your job. When the runner boots up, it automatically sets several default environment variables, like the repository name or the current branch. You access these exactly like you would in a normal Bash or PowerShell script. You can also define your own environment variables using the env key in your workflow file. You can attach the env key to an entire workflow, a single job, or a specific step. Here is the key insight. The lifecycle dictates what you can use and where. A common mistake is trying to use a runner environment variable inside an if conditional at the job level. If you tell a job to run only if a specific Bash environment variable equals a certain value, the workflow will fail. The runner has not started yet. The machine does not exist, so the environment variable does not exist. To make decisions before the runner boots, you must use a context. Let us look at a practical scenario. You want a deployment job to run only if the code is merged into the main branch. At the job level, you write an if conditional. You use the context expression to check if the github.ref context equals the string refs/heads/main. GitHub evaluates this instantly. If it is true, GitHub provisions a runner and sends the job to it. Once the job is on the runner and your steps begin executing, you transition to environment variables. Inside a Bash script step in that same job, you might need to know the branch name to tag a build artifact. Here, you simply type a $ followed by github_ref. The runner reads this from its local operating system environment. You are referencing the exact same piece of data, the branch name, but you are accessing it through completely different mechanisms depending on where the execution currently lives. Contexts route the workflow on GitHub servers. Environment variables drive the execution scripts on the runner. If you ever find yourself fighting empty variables in your workflow logic, ask yourself whether the machine evaluating that logic has actually booted up yet. As always, thanks for listening. See you in the next episode.